Hello and welcome back to another live stream. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and welcome to the first official episode of the GVO show. Obviously, you saw Alfie last week. Big up to Alfie for coming through as always. And this is going to be a regular show every Monday, and the times will change depending on games and stuff like that as well. That's why you're seeing this at roughly 6:30. Obviously, I think with non-Monday night football weeks, it'll probably be at 8 p.m. Just so we can get you know more talking points and stuff like that as well.
Yeah,
And yeah, Alfie, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I don't know about yourself. Obviously, this is two opposite ends of the spectrum, really. I've
Yeah,
come off of the first 3 points of the season, and you obviously lost to Villa.
yeah, of course. We might as well start with we'll start with you because everyone knows my thoughts so far on West Ham United. Obviously, you guys comfortably beat Wolves on the weekend 2-0 as the scoreline. Was it as comfortable as the scoreline said?
It did take us a while to get back into the game, to get into the game. I definitely feel like that was due to the fact that it was the first game of the season. Getting the legs back in, and as soon as we got underway, I thought we were going to smash them probably 3 or 4 nil. I thought we could have had
Yeah,
more than 2 goals, but I'm happy with a 2-0 win. Start as we mean to go on.
yeah. So did well, Zinchenko started, Thomas Partey started as well. Those are two players that you never know might not be guaranteed starters. What was your thoughts on the lineup when it was put out?
My first reactions to the lineup, obviously, many Arsenal fans were sitting there biting their nails, thinking Zinchenko, Partey. But my idea of the way Arteta went into the game was they both played a bit against Lyon. They both had a
Mhm.
good game against Lyon, and the way I saw it was, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
All about momentum.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I saw like a bit. I saw like 10 minutes of the game. Like it was like I was thinking, okay, Zinchenko starting. Fair enough, it might be because of pre-season stuff like that. Obviously, Wolves don't have Neto, but they still have players that can go forward and really test Zinchenko when it comes to his defensive attributes, etc. Was
yeah.
he? How did he play then?
Same as always. Always good at going forward. But again, those defensive vulnerabilities, he seems to be getting caught out.
Mm, yeah, is that going to be a long term like problem then if he carries on playing?
Well, I mean, luckily enough, we've got a lot of players who can come in and play backup. Obviously, last season we had Kivior that could come in. Timber's obviously back and he can play either on the left or the right hand side or through the middle. And obviously Calafiori coming in as well. So even
Hmm.
if we, even if Zinchenko does have a poor run of form, we've got players that can come in and who are capable enough of doing the job.
Yeah, yeah, that's true as well. Like obviously, Mikel Marino, that's close. Apparently, even though it's been close for about a month. Um, like, what do you think that'll get done soon? You reckon?
Well, I heard just before the game kicked off on Saturday that apparently he was left out of the Real Sociedad squad because things were moving slightly closer.
Yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Obviously,
So
yeah.
you never know how long it's going to take. Obviously, maybe we've got another 2 weeks of the transfer window left.
Hmm.
So if they're going to get it done, they need to get it done quickly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially in midfield. Like
Mm,
you guys probably need a midfielder in my opinion. Like,
yeah.
but obviously, as well, like this whole striker situation, there's been nothing in terms of the striker situation. You reckon they're even going to move for a striker at this point?
I don't think they will. I don't think they
Yeah.
will. Arsenal fans are crying out for a striker, but it seems like we're looking in one direction and the team are looking in another.
Mm, mm,
But I mean, Havertz did do the business on Saturday. Whether he can do that across an entire season, I don't know. But
mm.
we're going to find out over the next 37 weeks.
Almost think it's a bit naive to feel like what happened, what worked for the last 6 months, but even not even six, like 4 months of the season, is going to work for the whole season. And I feel
Yeah,
like Havertz scoring again is obviously going to put more emphasis on the fact that he trusts Havertz even more. And just like, no, we don't need to replace him. But let's say Havertz is the man for like in Arteta's perspective. Arteta Well, if let's say Havertz gets injured or suspended, what's the alternative?
I don't really think there is one. Again, Jesus, one of those players that on his day could be incredible,
Mm-hmm.
but those days are very few and far between. Not to mention his injury-prone um, history. Nketiah as well. I've mentioned before, Nketiah is not really the striker you want to be charging for a Premier League title.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
it feels like if we lose Havertz, we're screwed.
Nottingham Forest actually
Oh
linked with
man,
Nketiah. They actually linked with Nketiah, I think. I just saw an Ornstein report.
sorry, you said Nottingham Forest, and I instantly started thinking about that Danilo injury.
Oh yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, especially 8 minutes into the season, that was
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
peak, man. But I mean, some good news for them. To big up to friends. There we land. Also, before I get into anything else, Alfie's link is in the title. People, just put it in the title. So make sure to subscribe to him. He's literally just started like doing YouTube videos about Arsenal like a week ago. So go and subscribe to him. He'll have more in the future as well. And leave a like on the video, people. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers after hitting the long-awaited 500. Obviously, not the first. I working on a deal to sign Eddie Nketiah. Was dropped by Ornstein at 6:15, so it was like 30 minutes ago. £25 million opening bid rejected. If my club had Eddie Nketiah and I see another club bid more money for Nketiah, but you'd like £25 million, you gotta take that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I feel like 25 million is the most we should be asking for. I feel like if you're asking for any more, then teams are going to pull out left, right, and centre.
Arsenal want 30 to 35 million. It says
No,
here.
he's not worth that. He's not worth that.
What the fuck? What has he done to be worth 30 to 35 million? Nothing.
Apparently, score
No.
a hat trick against Sheffield United. Apparently, that's the main thing.
God, against Sheffield United, it wasn't even like a proper football team.
Exactly.
Like probably Crystal Palace retained interest, but no current club to club talks. So it wasn't really anything. That was a quite a non headline to say the least. Like I don't understand. Like like you guys got to learn from the Marseille situation. As soon as Marseille pulled out of the Nketiah situation, they would have got El Yawahi from Lons
Yeah.
instead. So why what 25 million? But back to the Wolves game. Who was there? Anyone that stood out in that game? Anyone that performed really well? Anyone that performed like shit?
Saka again, but then again, it's not a case of Saka standing out because he's consistent week in, week out. You'll get that out of him across the season. Obviously, we still need to find a replacement for him because otherwise he's going to be knackered towards the end of the season. But again, Saka, fantastic player and fantastic performance from him again, goal and an assist.
Who started left wing for you in the game?
Martinelli.
Well, what was he like? Because he's come under a lot of criticism over the past 6 months.
I'm going to give him time. He was a bit on and off on Saturday, but that was just my personal opinion. I can't really speak for other Arsenal fans, but for me, he was a bit on and off. But I'm going to give him time. The last thing we want to do is say you've got to prove yourself and then turn him away after one semi-poor performance.
Because obviously, like, that would be a big boost in like Arsenal's attack. Arsenal's attack has just been coming into question like throughout the whole of the past 6 months. Even though like you defended really well and you only lost one game, but in certain situations you need something different. In the big games, like even in the Champions League last year, like in the second leg especially, you didn't score one goal against Bayern, and obviously Bayern won 1-0 in the end. But when you need them players to turn up, who's going to turn up when? Maybe there's going to be a Saka that's going to be eventually tired by that part of the season, or who's there to step up on the left-hand side when the right-hand side is faltering. Like, Trossard's there, but he can't do it on his own.
No.
Like, Martinelli would have to go and pop in as well. Like, Jesus, he's still there. Jesus is still there. He's still a part of the attack. So, can he still play a role, Gabriel Jesus?
Most likely. I mean, he's proven many times before that he can play either position in the front three, whether that be through the middle or on the wings. He's proven it. He can do it before. So if we need him to, I'll just hope that he can step up.
Oh yeah, for sure. You reckon he's better on the left than he is up front?
I'd say he's better on the left. He
Yeah,
looks more creative on the left.
that's the thing as well. Like I remember when he was at City, him and Sterling, I always liked them both off the right. Because
Yeah,
when Jesus played on the wing in general, he looked like even better because he has the ball more to feet and can just create situations and skill past defenders, etc. as well. But also, when they were on the right, they obviously go a bit more direct. But in the positions they were getting into, they're making decisions quicker. They're just passing to the striker. That's all you need to do at City.
yeah.
And just like if you had space, like I never saw him as a striker. When he was signed as a striker, I was like, okay, they might play him as a false nine, etc. And it started off really well, but I think you guys eventually saw in the end you needed someone different. But till this day, yeah, Havertz has come in and Havertz scored another great goal by just moving into the box, etc. And scoring a header is what you need to do. But you're gonna end up needing someone that's probably more clinical in the end because unless Havertz is getting 20 goals, you probably ain't winning the league because look at the strikers in the league that are scoring the most goals and stuff like that. And you're Arsenal,
Yeah.
you create more chances than most people apart from City. So you're gonna need someone to put that in the back of the net way more often than anyone else. So whether Havertz can score 20 by the end of the match, I'm not too sure. Do you reckon he can get 20?
I don't think he can get 20. Maybe at the most 15. But
Mm.
again, we have this tendency where we don't really focus on having one player who's the main goal scorer. We like to share it around, but there can be frailties in that. At some point during the season we are going to need a striker that can score all the goals.
Mm-hmm. Well, with your defense, with like Calafiori being signed as well, like you've obviously got Gabriel and Saliba, they're going to be the starters.
Mm,
But you've outside of that, obviously Kiwior was left out, so assuming they don't really have much plans for him, and he's looking to be shipped out, and there's other clubs interested in the Italian league and stuff like that. We'll see if anything advances there. But you've got Sinchenko, Kiwior, Calafiori, Timber, White, and Tomiyasu all the outside of
mm.
defence, all the outside of the centre backs that could also play centre back as well. Who do you reckon you have a plan for all of them? Like, because that's a lot of people.
Yeah, that is.
Tierney's still there as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm.
He's still there.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm surprised we haven't shipped him off by now.
Yeah. Like it's been August, and you guys have got a bit more of an effort. Maybe his agent needs to do a bit more of an effort to care about the club.
Send
But
him back to Celtic.
let's see if they want him. Let's see if they have
Yeah,
the piece. It might be a loan thing. Maybe a loan to buy or some shit.
as long as I got 10. If it were me, as long as I got 10 mil, let him go.
Yeah, fair. Calafiori, no Timber, Ben White, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko is still there.
I feel like apart from Zinchenko, the best thing about the entire Arsenal defense is the fact that they're all interchangeable. Apart from obviously Gabriel and Saliba, because it's been made abundantly clear that those two are the two centre backs. But as for everyone else, they're interchangeable and they can move along the back line. So how it's going to work out, I don't know yet, but we're just going to have to wait and see.
Was she happy with the performance overall against Wolves as it was the first game of the season?
I think it was the perfect start. I think not in terms of, obviously, like I said, I wanted for maybe 3 or 4 goals to end up in the back of the net, but I'm not going to turn my nose up at a 2-0 win. Perfect start, shows that we're prepared to do what's necessary, and we move on to Villa.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like Aston Villa away.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll get on to Aston Villa later as well. But Aston Villa away is always hard. You'd lost there last year as well. Like,
And then
it's a bit,
and then I think the two times that we played Villa before, the 2 previous season, we struggled. That season where we were fighting for top 4, we struggled again.
Yeah.
And the first season we fought for the league, we beat them towards the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
Like we didn't nick it too late.
Yeah, and I forgot you lost to them at home last season as well. That was your only loss in 2024.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. Obviously, with the power with the transfer window that they've had, the way they played against us, they were better than us, and that's gonna be a struggle. I know it's too early now, but you reckon you'll be confident of winning there because it's not easy.
I think it is going to be a tough game, but at the end of the day, It's about what the players can do inside the 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
As long as they go there with the right mindset and understand that they've got a job to do, I think we'll be fine.
Nope. Don't know what's happened there. Nope.
What happened there?
I don't know. You just disappeared on my thing.
Yeah, as I was saying, as long as we know what we need to do, we'll be fine against Villa.
Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense. But speaking of Aston Villa, I might as well get out of the way. Yeah, West Ham 1, Aston Villa 2. Obviously, a lot of you have already watched my previous stream and video on it. Very rattled in my first stream. Was slightly calmer on the video yesterday, talking about what Lopetegui needs to do better. Because that lineup, fuck you, Jonathan. Fuck you. Big ups to yourself, Jonathan, but fuck you. Yeah, Alfie, I think there's a bit of an echo in the thing. Have you got headphones on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to have to go with it, but there is a bit of an echo in the thing. But with that game, everyone knows my thoughts already on mainly the Czech boys. That lineup as well. As soon as I saw that lineup, it was just like, it was just so deflating. It was like I knew exactly what was going to happen. Like going to the ground and then seeing that lineup, it was just like, okay, there's no Tadibo instead of Mavropanos. Okay, there's no Wan-Bissaka instead of Sufa. Okay, they're both on the bench. There's Souček, number 28. Sorry, there's no number 28. As we said, I'm trying to call him by his number, not his name. There's still like Bowen on the right. Fair enough. Kudus is on the left. Okay, whatever. We get into the game, and we start off well. First 2 minutes, cool, it's fine. Start on the front foot, putting them under pressure, and really getting behind the squad, etc. All of a sudden, what was it? A second quarter, some shit. Souček decides to be Souček, being the number 28 that he is, and not control the ball for it to go out of play. Corner comes in, and Antonio doesn't want to mark Anana for whatever reason. He just lets him go past him, and for whatever reason, Mikel Antonio is on Amadou Anana, who is about 6 inches taller than him. Like Antonio's like 5'10", Anana's like 6'4", something like that. Mismatch. It's like, oh man, I don't even know how to describe that, but. It's like a 5-year-old trying to mark you in like, and you're like now your age now, but a 5-year-old trying to fucking mark you, trying to pull you down. Yeah, all right, fine, Jonathan, fine. Just because I said 6, get your head out the gutter, man. Just because I said 6 inches. But literally, like, if your whole point is half of the corners man markers, half of the corners zonal markers. As the guy who's marking someone, man marking someone, you're letting him go all the way past to the zonal markers, whose job is to mark the zone, not the player. So once Onana gets past Antonio, he's got a free run. Now, idiots online are looking at that and blaming Max Kilman for whatever reason. Max Kilman is meant to mark the zone. That is his role. Antonio literally just lets him go past him. And if you guys played against, everyone's seen their team play against Aston Villa. They love to slow the game down when they're 1-0 up. They love to get the ball to Mars, and if they're away from home as well, they'll take a draw away from home. They play for the draw and wait for you to come. Not in that way. Wait for you to become open, pause, and then play out into space and stuff like that. For fuck's sake, man. And they love to use Emi Martinez to like slow the game down between the defense and the goalkeeper. You cannot let them go 1-0 up in the first few minutes. Because then once you're chasing the game, and once this shitty press that we were doing in this game where you only press in the midfield and not in the attack, you can't just wait for them. Because they can wait all day. They're 1-0 up. So when you're aggressive with your press, win the fucking ball. Win the draw. I'm getting angry again.
Yeah, I could never understand that. I could never understand it. I was watching the game myself, and there was periods in the game where Aston Villa were in possession, and you had all your players sat behind the ball,
Yeah,
and they just stood there. They're not.
yeah, it's
They're
just
not moving. They're not. There's no press. There's no attack, and you can hear the fans in the background getting on the players' backs. They're like, "Fucking
yep,
do something."
yep. I'm in that corner. The whole corner was getting onto them. Whole corner. Pause again.
I
Whole
don't
corner
blame
was
you. I don't blame
whole
you.
corner. Yeah, whole corner was literally like fucking press then because they all expected them to press. Like, don't get me wrong. At the end of the game, they took it well. Pause again, and stuff like that. Like, I'm trying my best. I don't know what is happening today. I'm trying my best to not, but they took the defeat well. They took the defeat well, and everyone. I was pretty much the biggest hothead there. I was rustled, but everyone else was quite calm about it. Whatever. It's the first game, new era. Everyone's patient with that. I will be patient because that was my original intent to be patient anyway. But I will be even more patient if you could give me something to be patient about in terms of the fact you need to drop some of these players that don't deserve to play. Now, I understood starting Antonio. I understood starting Antonio because, like you said about Zinchenko and Partey, Antonio Sturt did well in the Betway Cup in the game beforehand against Celta Vigo. He did well.
Yeah.
He was fine, and Fulcrook barely had any minutes. He's coming back from after the break in the World Cup Euros, and gaining minutes again. And you're seeing that with a lot of players. You're seeing that with Bowen and Paquetá coming back from their things as well. And Kyle Walker didn't start for City, and Foden had 45 minutes, etc. Just a couple of examples. Like, I get it, but Souček cannot start next game. Soufal should not play for this club again. I don't know, people love Soufal because of who he is and stuff. And I want to say this as well. People say he's been mistreated by the club and stuff like that because he was asking for more funds. Fuck him. He doesn't deserve more funds. If you're going to perform like that, you don't deserve more money. There's a reason why you're being upgraded on. And you're out here leaking stuff to your agent and the Czech media about the fact we haven't paid you well enough. You got to earn that. You got to earn that shit. You had one good season, bro. If Mellon was here, he would have a field day. Yeah, you don't know Mellon. Basically, Mellon is one of my mates. He literally just says pause after everything. Oh man,
Got lucky with that one.
Yeah, but he eats potato salad. Yeah, but Souček is a nice guy, a nice Czech Republican guy that just eats potato salad. He gives his all for the club. Do you know what? Every time I see, when people say the sentence, I don't get the Souček hate, but and then insert a thing where it's like, it's not an attribute that's on the ball. It's not an attribute that's even on the pitch. It's everything that's off the ball, off the pitch. That's a justification for who he is. That doesn't earn you the right to be good enough, not necessarily just for West Ham, but to be a footballer in general. Or a footballer at this level where you want to get back into Europe and shit like that. Oh man, I can't see him start for this club any longer. I didn't go through that whole Moyes era and the last 18 months of Moyes picking Souček every time when Flynn Downs and Lanzini were on the bench and last season where we could have just played Alvarez and Ward-Prowse with Paquetá, Kudus and Bowen and Antonio in front of them. I didn't watch all of that for them to have a new manager, play new signings, a new style of play, for then Souček to survive again. I didn't do all of this and wait this long just for him to start again. So if you want me to give you fucking patience, please give me a reason to be patient. Please change it. Please make it your West Ham. Not the previous regime. Make it your West Ham. Because I'm seeing us playing football sometimes. I'm seeing us actually playing up from the back. But the problem is it became so one-dimensional because we went down the left-hand side all the time. Because you need your midfielder on each side. Souček's not there. Paquetá was there for his side. Kudus is on the left-hand side. Emerson's on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Bowen's with the Czech guys. They don't know how to pass the ball in that country. Clearly. What do they teach in that country? They just throw a ball at you, just fucking fall over all the time. Throw the ball at you, just fucking boot it like it's Sam Allardyce football. The ball's in the air most of the time for them. You can't pass to each other and shit. Give a go, 1-2s. Do you not do that there? How could you be a midfielder and not pass the ball? How?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
You're a midfielder. You're in the middle of the pitch. You're the one that connects everything. The connector, as they like to call Pablo Fornals. Don't get me on that again.
That's like having a striker that can't score goals. Oh wait, Nicholas Jackson.
Sorry, Jonathan in the chat, but yeah, we're gonna get on to Chelsea later. But fuck me, like Souček, man. Like I I can't do
An-
this.
Another thing that didn't make sense to me when I saw the West Ham lineup was you've brought in Todibo, you've brought in
Mm,
Wan-Bissaka, you've built up all this hype for signing these players. The fact that you've snapped Todibo from Juventus is a big thing.
hmm
Why are you not starting them? I mean, I understand why Somerville was on the bench because you had Barn on one side and Kudus on the other.
Yeah. uh,
Yeah, but I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna just say this, Jonathan, because I just see the reply. I'm gonna just say this. At least my striker's not chatting up OnlyFans girls. Pipe down.
fucking hell.
Tell
All right.
Jackson to fuck off back to Astrid.
Fucking hell. I thought you were gonna say something else. I thought you were gonna say something else that's gonna get you wigged out and cancelled.
Whoa,
Yeah, I
whoa,
thought you were gonna say something mad. I thought you
whoa.
were gonna say something ridiculous. I thought you was gonna do a Johnny Minerals. Jesus Christ. I don't know whether you saw that. Did you see the YouTuber that claimed he didn't say the N word? The
Wait,
football YouTuber. Did you see it? Happened a couple of
yeah,
weeks ago.
yeah, I think I did.
He pretty much he claimed that it was AI, even though it wasn't. It was a live stream, and he claimed that he was saying weirdo instead. But the thing is, he said weirdo before he said it, and he was caught in like 8K. It was ridiculous. But getting back onto the game. Listen, I like Mikel Antonio a lot. And he's, as I said, probably my favorite West Ham player for what he's done. But this is 2024, and we cannot have him starting week in, week out anymore. Oh, he's not going to, but and I understood why he started. But for
I mean,
example, the Tadibo, sorry,
that's the main reason you brought in Fulkrug was
yeah.
to make it so that Antonio didn't have to start week in, week out.
If he doesn't start next week, it's ridiculous. Like Tadibo, listen, I get Tadibo didn't play any preseason games, so cool. He doesn't play this game, but you got to start him next game. Mavropanos didn't do bad, but you start Tadibo next game. Wan-Bissaka had one training session, so I get it, but he played a lot of preseason games. So I would start probably literally any fucking person that, not even with two legs. I got starting a person with a wheelchair over Vladimir Sufal. I'm starting a person with one leg over Vladimir Sufal. They should put the right back fucking vacancy on Indeed and shit like that.
Would you
Because
start my mum?
yeah, your mum's probably better than Sufal at right back, bro.
And she's
But
registered disabled.
listen,
She's
the
probably got
bar
more
is low.
pace as well.
The bar is low at West Ham, so fuck it. Fuck it. Like, Sufal cannot compete with a normal human, let alone a normal right back at this club. So Wan-Bissaka has to come in. Like Rodriguez, cool. There was lots of mixed things about Rodriguez and what people were saying. Oh, he was shit. Oh, he was sick. Whatever. I thought he was decent. He was a bit slow, but he was decent. He was putting in tackles and stuff. He could be a little bit better, yes. But for his first game at the club, cool, whatever.
I think. Well, I think one of the main reasons why a lot of fans were saying that Rodriguez played shit is because their minds are blanked by the fact that they just lost at home.
Mm.
They've just conceded 2 goals. A lot of fans are going to say, "Oh, the defense played shit," but I didn't know that it was his first game at the club. I thought he was already there, but I actually thought he had a good game. Yes,
Yeah,
like you said, that there is things that he can improve on, but that will happen with time.
Exactly. He's just covered for Edson Alvarez. That's how I see it. And the reason why I think he's covered for Edson Alvarez, people, is because there's a bit of West Ham news that's come out, and I think we kind of already knew. It's not anything new, but let's just put it out there. Oh shit! I clicked on something else as well. West Ham are stepping up their attempts to sign PSG's 20 million euro rated midfielder Carlos Soler, and we have the funds. We still have the funds for it because we actually haven't spent as much as people think. Because the full quick deal was cheaper than it was. We paid the Tadibo money next year. Wan-Bissaka was 15 million. Somerville was 25. Who else did we sign? Rodriguez was for free. Yeah, Kilman was the only one that was actually like properly expensive, and Guillermo was like 27 million. Like we haven't actually spent as much as people think, so that's why we can pay still, and we are trying to get people out as well. But this would send the 8 for number 28. This would send the end of the era for number 28 starting in midfield, and I'm more than fine with that. And I want to put it out there that I get it. People are saying it's because that Ward-Prowse. Cool, I don't get why Ward-Prowse didn't start over him, but Paquetá came off instead of Souček because Paquetá has only played like a game in pre-season and stuff like that. Cool, and that's why Bowen came off as well. And that's why Somerville came on. Somerville was great when he came on. Was probably one of our better attackers on the pitch. Kudus was still great for Mohamed Kudus, and he was playing out of position. In my opinion, what I see for him is out of position. Even though being a right winger and playing on the left, it's not that bad at all. But come on, I need to see much better than that. I need to see much better. But with Carlos Soler, he would be the partner to Edson Alvarez or Guido Rodriguez when he starts as well. Obviously, Edson Alvarez will be back in like a few weeks or whatever it is. But for now, I'm fine with Rodriguez playing there because before we had a Souček Ward-Prowse midfield, and that was as stiff as anything. Pause. Like neither of them had ball. Neither of them had any bit of ball retention. Pause again. But like them two together, they just cannot play. Everything I'm saying is dodgy today. I don't know what is going on, but
everything you're saying is pause worthy, bro.
Yeah, like,
honestly, man.
Yeah. Oh man, I really hope Melon isn't watching this. But the Souček Ward-Prowse, that midfield cannot be helped. So getting a Guido Rodriguez and Edson Alvarez and a Carlos Soler as the place to step in. We're hopefully, with all of them started and eventually being integrated in, we'd be a much better possession-based side. And I need to see that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be available to even watch the Crystal Palace game, but if I'm looking at my phone and I'm seeing the lineup, I'm not trying to see Mikel Antonio, Souček, and Soufal start next game. Not Mavropanos either. The Mavropanos is a good player, but he's a squad player. That's it. Tadimo's the starter. Kilman's the starter. Kilman was amazing, and Kudus was great. And Somerville was good when he came on. Those are the positives, but there isn't many positives. Emerson was okay, but there was only a couple combination with Paquetá when I was like, yeah, cool, that looked good, that was sick, but I need to see much better from next game. But I'm not going to be available to watch the game. I said this on streams many times before. I'm out of town from Friday to Monday, so I'll probably have to let you know when I'm back Monday and stuff like that, so we can do the show again. But like, I just want to see a better lineup next week, and hopefully we win the game. Palace away is not easy. Palace away is. It's already hard for us as it is, pause. But we don't win there often. We don't win there often. No. We don't win there often at home, like against them at home or against them away from home. Like when it comes to Crystal Palace, anything can happen. Yeah. Anything. Like if you look at our record, we either like lose twice against them, or we beat them twice, or we draw against them twice in a season. Like it's one of them weird games. It's always feisty. It's not one of them.
Selhurst is a tough place to go.
Oh, yeah. Typically for any team, especially with what they're playing now. Listen, they lost as well. But when I saw that game, I was thinking they can still get us because until Brentford scored, they were dominated.
Yeah.
They were dominated, and they... I was going to say they were on top, but... Oh, fuck's sake. Pause again. I can't be asked. Everything's a pause moment. Fuck this pause shit because they can't speak anymore, bro. Like I can't speak. I can't say they were on top of the game or anything like that. Can't say that anymore. You can't say that. But until Palace fucking like fucked up for that one move and Brentford opened them up, playing out from the back, playing for the midfield, and Bumo scored, and then Bomo, whatever the fuck his name is, he scored with a bad hairline. He finished, and Dean Henderson in goal is like having no one in goal. It's like it wasn't even there. He barely even tried to dive. Fuck's sake, Jonathan, you snitch. I'm just gonna get constantly paused. Like Melon replies to my face and just says pause. Oh man,
6-9.
You got to pause on that as well.
Yeah.
But Palace were the better team throughout that part of the game, and then Brentford got into their stride. They found the pockets and then they played throughout. But when I saw Palace play there, I'm like, if we don't fix that, we play how we did against Villa, with the way they play three at the back and the way they stretch the team, and the way they hug the touchlines on the pitch and they make the pitch bigger than it actually is. It's going to be long for us if we play like that. If we actually play the players that we're meant to and stuff like that. And listen, I thought it was going to be a bad start when I saw the fixtures anyway. Palace, Villa, and Man City. That's long. That's just long. I couldn't like. What am I meant to do? The next home game that I'm going to is Man City. Oh man. But whatever. Like when it comes to the start, you just got to kind of like show me something that I can see like we can develop in the future. Because I said we're finishing 10th. I said we're not going to finish in Europe because I said this is going to take time to integrate. But you can't be playing the same players then. Because this will remind me of 2 years ago where David Moyes wanted to change the style of football to a possession-based style and signed all these players, Paquetá, Skamaka, Kera again, etc. All the people in the transfer window. But he played the exact same formation and the exact same players. And Souček was still there. If you want to play a possession-based style of football, you don't play Souček. How has he still survived in this side? I don't know. And we gave him a 4-year contract last season just because he scored a couple goals. We fucked up. And I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. As simple as that. He's like, there's so many versions of Scott McTominay's in football, and he's one of them.
It feels like Souček is one of those. It feels like Souček is the family dog that West Ham don't want to put down.
That's perfect. That's literally the perfect analogy for that. But we need to put down this dog. This dog is senile as fuck. This dog is shitting without when it's not meant to.
It's deaf.
It's puking. Yeah, it's puking. It's deaf. It's blind. It's fucked. This dog should have been put down a long time ago. This dog's about 84 in human years. So please put this dog down. I don't want to hear no more woofs. I don't want to see no more dog food. Like, this is ridiculous now. Oh, bruv. Bruv. Yeah. Fuck it. Like Sufo is another dog that's got like one ear and like 3 eyes. Like one of the most fucking deformed dogs there are. Like he's one of them as well. Number 5. Aaron Cresswell is that dog that should have been dead a long time ago and somehow has survived death about 500 times. And he's still here. He's still here. How? But luckily he's not playing. But I've talked enough about West Ham.
Yeah, I think that now's the perfect time to move on because I can see you getting agitated and stressed out and.
Man United Fulham.
Oh God.
What should you make of that?
I actually went into the game as a neutral fan, quite excited. You always get excited going into the first game of the season. But for me, it was one of the most boring fucking games I've ever seen. And it was the same old shit we saw last season from a Ten Hag United side. Play shit for 90 minutes, nick it late.
Yep, that's Man United.
Simple as that. That if you wanted me to sum up how the United Fulham game went, that was that.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I know what you're going to say, Jonathan. And no, I don't want Ben Chilwell. No, I don't want Ben Chilwell. Please do not recommend Ben Chilwell.
Do you want Tierney?
If he wasn't injury prone, I'd have him. Because he's not a bad player. But he's just injury prone. He just can't stay fit. Literally, I'm an upgrade on Cresswell. And I've got a defensive positioning awareness of Cresswell. But the Man United Fulham, that game, you summed up pretty well. Man United stink it out, get a last minute winner. And you can tell, like, it was one of them ones where I predicted it was going to be a Garnacho winner because it's just one of them ones where it just felt like it was going to be one of them games where Garnacho was going to shamelessly celebrate and still couldn't a celebration again. But it was Xerxes. And listen, the guy looks like a good player from what I've seen. And I mean, it's an upgrade on Højlund, but who isn't? But he's going to bring players into play. But the problem with him is that not only is this his first year in the Prem, so you've got to be careful with him. But the players he's going to link play with, they're not good enough. Rashford again, by the way. Like, do you see the Garnacho miss?
Oh my
at the
God.
end? Do you know what? There are so many things wrong about that attack here. They were already 1-0 up. Rashford didn't shoot. He should have shot, but he has no confidence in himself to shoot from there, and has lost all fucking belief. And by the way, as I keep saying, it's 2024. We don't need to keep saying that Marcus Rashford's going to come good anymore. Pause. Like, it's Marcus Rashford, bro. This is 2024. This guy broke through the scene in 2016. In 2016, 2015, it's nearly been 10 years. It was the game against you lot in the 15-16 season at Old Trafford.
It was the game against Midtjylland in the Europa League, and then he scored 2 in that, and then he scored 2 against us in 15-16.
Yeah. And ever since then, it's been, I'll have a couple, like, I'll have a good season, have a shit season, have a good season, have a shit season. Does nobody get the pattern by now? So people will be like, okay, he's going to have a good season this year. You see, if Marcus Rashford must have a good season, you will see what the Man United fans be like. This is the Marcus Rashford we know and love. He is world class, better than Mbappe, as they always do. You know, they always overhype shit. But Marcus Rashford is just meaty. It's just meaty. That's it. He's a meaty winger. Like a lot of players have been in this league that have scored 20 goals in one season before, and they don't do it continuously. What separates you from the greats and the best in the game is consistency. And he's not got that.
No, he hasn't.
He's got moments. Like Bruno Fernandes has moments. He's another one that has moments in him. Like on his day, he's good. On his day. But that day will be like every half term, bro. Like it'll be like every half term. It'll be like every Christmas or some shit. You never know with Bruno Fernandes. Like that Man City game in the FA Cup final was the first time I seen him turn up in a big game. That was well done on turning up in a big game for the first time. But you're not world class. You're not world class either. World class is someone that does it on a big stage year in, year out. There are not even many footballers that I would hold to a standard of world class in this era because not many of them are consistent.
No.
If you look at the best players for the best clubs, we're looking at Mbappe's world class. We're looking at Vinicius world class. Not fucking Rashford. Not Rashford. Like, he doesn't even have any confidence for him to score there. He then passes it to Garnacho, and Garnacho misses from there. Like, come on. Like, if it wasn't for Souček, like, that would be the worst miss of the worst miss. I didn't even talk about that Souček miss, but I'm not going to talk about it again.
No, but I think the worst miss of the season was, I think it was Jota against Ipswich.
Oh, yeah.
Went out for a throw. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, that is probably it. Cole Palmer's not world class yet, Jonathan. Not yet.
No.
He will be in the future if he keeps it up from last season, but not yet. Not yet, bro. Like, if we're talking world class ability, a potential to have world class ability, it's different. Like Cole Palmer, that was his first season, like breaking through not breaking through, but like proper first team football.
Yeah,
the whole season. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. Like, he doesn't get fazed by any big stage. Like that guy came on in the Euros final and did what he
scored.
Did. Yeah, but the problem is he can't. The players like him, they can't do it on their own. Palmer and Watkins couldn't do it on their own in that game. But that's a conversation for another day. Oh yeah, I know what you mean, but like, I'm gonna give him a lot of time because this guy's young. This guy's still young. Like, well, with what we've seen from him, that guy could be a very, very good player, world-class player, potentially season in, season out. But we also need to give him a chance on the big stages, season in, season out. Unfortunately, he might not thrive in that, in an environment, not even necessarily even Chelsea, where you never know what's going to happen with Chelsea. You could be down here all the way up here. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen with Chelsea, but let's say even with England, like, we don't know what's going to happen with the future of England. Are we even going to get into enough big games for players of that caliber to even shine? Like, we don't know. There's a lot of time. Like, we can't just. I don't give world class status to just anyone. I don't give it to many footballers in this era because I still hold the same standard as when I was growing up. Don't get me wrong, the bar was too high, but we grew up on Neymar's and Ronaldo's and Messi's and Bale's and all these players when their El Clasicos were proper El Clasicos, and we were watching midfielders that were maestros and magnificent with passes and proper defenders, etc. I'd probably say, if I was to go at the top of my head in the Premier League, I was to say about like 10 players, 12 players are maybe world class, and most of them are from Man City. There's like 4 of them from Liverpool. And that's it for me right now because they've done it season in, season out. Van Dijk's done it season in, season out. Like, Kevin De Bruyne's done it season in, season out. Like, that's the difference. Like, but Man United again, man. Man United again, like, but they always do this. Like, you always know, like, oh, it's 0-0, they're gonna get a draw. Well, no one ever thinks that. They know what's gonna happen. 90th minute. What do Man United do? The fucking ghost of Sir Alex Ferguson, even though he's not dead, is still there. He's still manipulating the fucking time. He's still doing something. Like the presence of Sir Alex Ferguson has completely haunted that whole stadium. Because forever they're going to have it in them of that heritage stuff where they score in the last minute. Every club has that same habit about them, no matter what regime it is. Tottenham with trophies. They're allergic. That's an example. Man United is like that with last minute winners. Like Leverkusen and Real Madrid are becoming that. Well, Real Madrid has already been that. Leverkusen are becoming that. But Man United have been doing this for all my life. All my life, they've been scoring last-minute winners. You know how much pain I've gone through with West Ham going to Old Trafford, and that's happened. Last-minute winner all the time. Fuck you, Ryan Fredericks. I grew up on Bobby Charlton, Neymar, Messi. That's the taking a piss out of Endrick. You see that?
Oh yeah.
You see that? my inspiration's Bobby Charlton. Oh, fuck off, Endrick, man.
Hendrick's dad probably wasn't even born when Bobby Charlton was about.
Yeah.
Wait, Jonathan, shut it.
But like these things happen with every club. Like with us, I don't even know what it is. I think it's going 3. No. With West Ham, it's going 3-0 up, and somehow conceding a bunch of goals. That is the West Ham heritage thing that always happens. It's always every time we're 3-0 up, just panic.
I think for Arsenal, it's bottling it when it matters most.
Yeah, probably.
It hurts to say, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
But you know that business end of the season, like for Arsenal, every time I'm just like, bro, you know what's gonna happen. Like it's happened in the past 3 years. Top 4 and 2 title challenges.
Yeah.
That top 4 race was it? It was Tottenham. That Tottenham away, Newcastle away. It was those 2 games that killed it. The European battle title race after that. It was against us, Southampton and Liverpool. 3 draws, and then you lost to Man City. After that,
and then lost to Forest.
Yeah, lost to Forest. Yeah,
and we handed City the title without them playing a game.
And you know what's funny? Even the last game of the season, last season, you struggled in that.
Yeah,
that
we
Everton
did.
game. That Everton game. Like Everton were 1-0 up, I'm pretty sure.
And
you guys only really went 2-1 up when the title was already done. When City had already won it. So yeah,
I thought it was done. I thought it was done before the game kicked off.
So did I. Because I knew what was gonna happen. Arsenal fans always fucking texting me like, "Oh, do a favor for us." After the same fans, by the way. If you go a message upwards, it was 6-0, 6-0. Declan Rice, 6-0. Bro, I haven't talked to you in 10 years. You didn't even say hi to me. You just said 6-0. Like these were the fans that were getting my DMs. I haven't seen you in years. I haven't even talked to you in years. 6-0. Fuck's sake. But
that's where I'm different. I'm the nice one.
Yeah, bro, you just sent me a voice note feeling sorry for us instead. Sure. So to be fair, no offense, but so did I. You guys don't ever seem like fully equipped. And speaking of not fully equipped, we might as well just move on quickly. Man City are trying to get Gundogan back.
What?
You not seen it?
Nah.
Let me get the tweet up. Basically, Alfie, Gundogan wants to leave Barcelona. I think Barcelona want to ship him out. And all of a sudden, Fabrizio decides to drop a bomb on everyone that Man City are interested in bringing him back. Pep wants him back. Because if people remember, after that FA Cup final where Gundogan scored and they beat Man United, he was meant to sign. It was rumours of him signing a new deal or him leaving. And it was actually quite close into either or. And they should have kept him. But they didn't. So let's get this tweet up. Manchester City have made contact with Ilkay Gundogan's camp over potential return for German midfielder. City and Pep Guardiola are open to consider Gundogan's comeback. Barcelona want Gundogan to leave. And he's also received approaches from Qatar, Saudi, and more clubs. Bro, if Gundogan comes back, consider that title over. Consider it over. I can't lie.
Get it done, Pep. Get it done. No, I mean, don't get it done. Wait, what are you talking about? Wait, what are you talking about in terms of title over?
Oh, bro, he's still got it.
Well, then let him go Saudi then.
You're already spiraling.
I thought you was talking about the other way.
You're already spiraling from the presence of Ilkay Gundogan, bro. It's already haunting Arsenal and Liverpool fans. They're rattled already. because the potential return of Gundogan is nearby. Listen, Kovacic for Gundogan was a weird replacement, but Kovacic is still a good player. But you bring Gundogan on top of that, and they've got Rodri, Gundogan, Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden. It is long. This is the kind of depth that you need to win the league. Not necessarily lots of players, but players that can come in and do a job to a world-class level. And they've got too much know-how already.
Even we all know how they got that. We all know how they got that depth, though. Let's be real.
Well, we don't know because
I'm just waiting on the court case. I'm just waiting on the court case.
You can use that all you want, though, but you gotta look at your own team, bro.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not just speaking in terms of being an Arsenal fan. I'm speaking for fans across the entire Premier League because I know there's fans across. Because I know there's fans that are sick of sitting there at the start of the season and go, right, City have already won it.
I'm not. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. It's like, because this is the thing, yeah? If you look at every one of these clubs, they're all fucking dodgy. They're all dodgy. Our owners are dodgy. Our owners are dodgy as fuck. They're just not rich. They're just not rich like them, man. Because they're different rich. You see that when the Saudi owners come in and stuff, they stand out because of the country they're from.
Yeah.
Now when these charges come in, no one can even tell me what one of those charges are. They just say 115, 115. It's always our players better than Man City. This is our year. And then as soon as everyone loses the title, whether it's Liverpool, Arsenal, but they're cheating, they're oil money rich, or their charges and all this. That's what it's been for the whole years. And then it's like, but we don't care about Man City when they win the league. Everyone changes their opinion throughout what happens within through the narrative, instead of having responsibility of their own team. I'm sure if you look at the history of all these billionaires that run these clubs, how do you think they become billionaires? By either scamming people, being a scumbag, and doing all types of nonsense to even get the money in the first place. So if this fit and proper test was real in the Premier League, none of these owners would become owners. Like, the only reason why the fit and proper test is a thing is so they don't run the club into the ground. They're not looking at it from a moral perspective. The Premier League can't pretend they're morally correct. They can't pretend that. And like, I'm not going to go into a rabbit hole, but if they were to look at everyone's owners and be like, okay, let's look at it from a moral standpoint, then we wouldn't have any owners in the Premier League. Like, especially in the big six clubs, and for our owners, Aston Villa's owners, Newcastle, Wolves. Like, you just look for it. It doesn't even matter where they've come from either, because the English owners aren't that great either. But them bringing Gundogan back, if that happens, fucking hell, man. He's just a big game player. He doesn't even play many games. He just goes in for the big games. He's just there, like, for the big game moments. Like, this guy is a big game player. He nearly had an Aguero 2.0 moment to win them the league against Aston Villa at that time. Like,
yeah, and Villa were 2-0 up.
Then he won it for Stevie. He won it for Stevie Gerrard at the time. And it still was fucked up. Still fucked up. Sterling put a dagger in Liverpool's hearts. He put it across, and then Gundogan slid it in. It didn't even matter at that point. Yeah, do you know what? This is a good way of saying it. You know, every time Didier Drogba was in a big game, long day, man.
Yeah, Jonathan's actually taking the words out of my mouth.
Yeah,
because if you think about it, Drogba was never one of those players that got you 20, 30 goals a season. Yes, he did it on a couple of occasions. He was never one of those players, but he always turned up in a big game. Champions League final, he's there. FA Cup finals, consistently there.
Facts. I think it was in the goal against Everton where I think he takes a touch from his right to his left, and then he smacks it with his left. It was that two touch. I don't know whether it was two touches, but it was that goal at Wembley. I was like, yeah, this guy's he's clear. Because
he's relentless.
Yeah. People only look at stats. Like, when you look at Drogba for his whole career, like, this guy was a team player when he didn't score goals.
He stopped a civil war, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, you can't even hate on the man. And he's bald now. like, it's meant to be bald power in football. He's bald now. Like, everyone that's good is bald.
Putting David Villanic in a spliff in Qatar.
Oh yeah, he's not bullying people in charity matches. He's not just a
Yeah,
bully in charity matches. Like, oh man, coming up against Drogba in a charity match, and all these players like Kaka and Roberto Carlos. Like, how is Roberto Carlos and Cafu still fast?
Kaka got tackled by Speed, bro.
Oh yeah, Speed nearly killed him. He nearly killed his feet. I don't get what I'm watching like all these charity matches. And, like Cafu is still fast. Like I get you got technique. You're not gonna lose that, but you're still fast. You're like 50. How are you still keeping fit? How are you
Yeah,
still
there's something
sharp,
dodgy there.
bro? He's got them Liverpool asthma pumps, bro. He's taking Klopp's like all that Klopp team's asthma pumps just for that extra press and stuff, man. I don't know how you could be that quick at like 50. But moving on to the other games, a couple of other games. Chelsea, Manchester City. Obviously, Man City won 2-0. I was on the watch along yesterday with Joey's channel. For those that watched, would already know that. And when I was watching the game, it was like it was a good game. It was just a good game to watch. Like if I was to take my Chelsea hate aside, good game to watch. It was just like fun, nice and open. Good defending from City. Some great chances from both teams. Nice passing from both teams as well. The problem with Chelsea is the striker
Mm.
situation, and and centre back with Levi Colwill. Like that guy is so weak. Is just I don't know what I don't. It's not even I don't know what has happened. I don't know how he's managed to expose himself in the past of 2 years after being this pass master at Brighton. Well, not really getting tested, even though it did kind of happen at Brighton as well, where more physical players were getting the better of him. But again, for ever since he's become a Chelsea player on a permanent basis, like being in the first team and stuff, under Pochettino and under this manager, he shows himself to be weak. The guy is letting down the defense constantly.
It's almost as if the pressure's getting to him.
Yeah, is he even that, or is he just not good enough? You reckon he's just not good enough? Is he overrated?
I'm not too sure.
Like, my problem is like, I was looking at Chelsea's defense one time, like last season. I was thinking they don't have that bad defenders. They have Fofana coming back, Badiashile, he'll come good again. Colwell, he'll be fine. And I was looking at Disasi had an okay season. He had some bad moments. And Thiago Silva was there. I'm now looking at it now. And Disasi, we haven't seen him yet this season. Fofana is a good player, has showed good moments yesterday, but could have done better yesterday for the goal. For the first goal. Colwell should have done better for the second goal. And the first goal. Chalobah has been exiled for whatever, like he's just not in Maresca's plans, whatever. And Badiashile has fallen off since his injury. So there's a big problem there. You got a lot of centre backs, but are a lot of them good enough? Is the real question. Like, so that's an issue. But if you're playing like how you did yesterday, with that defense, you only concede 2 to City. You can really put it on teams by signing a striker and holding your own by just creating more chances and being slightly more clinical. Because there's going to be a lot of games this season where Chelsea are going to just have to outscore, and you have to outscore everyone anyway. But my point is that they're going to concede a lot, but be scoring a lot anyway. It's not even because of the structure or anything; it's because of the quality. Like if it was a system thing, you could see that, but they've got no quality in centre back.
I mean, we saw it a couple of times last season. We saw it against United and City, where they almost they had to outscore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like against City as well. Like you cannot let them go 1-0 up anyway. But after that, they seem to turn up a bit. Right at the back in the second half. Obviously, the Nkunku left wing thing didn't work in that game with Jackson up front. And Pogba did have his best game. Either he's just coming back. The midfield, I thought Lavia was really good. Thought Caicedo was decent. Enzo was meh. Like I do think he's a bit scapegoated a little bit when it comes to him being on the pitch. Because if you're going for 100 million in football, you're already fucked. You're fucked because you got to prove people 4 times as more than the usual player. It happened to Pogba, and it will happen with Rice, Caicedo, and Fernandes. It happens with a lot of £100 million plus players. Obviously, Jonathan still said Cole will come good, still young. Listen, he can develop still into a great player because we saw at Brighton he was good with his passing, etc.
Yeah.
But if you're a centre back, you got to have a centre back. You have a defensive instinct where you got to put your foot in, you got to put your body on the line, you got to really use your physicality. If you're defending in the high line as well, think about all the teams that defend in the high line. The Ruben Diaz, even though he has an occasional mistake in him, he's physically imposing. Gabriel and Saliba, they're physically imposing.
Van Dijk.
Yeah, Van Dijk is the perfect one. And yeah, look what happened with Johnson. Yeah, exactly. That's a good example of someone that developed really well into his later years. But he also did have the right coach with him that constantly believed in him and didn't want to let him go. So maybe if Colwell can have that with Maresca, we will see. But it's still very early into his career. I'm not going to write him off, but it's just, if you guys have got another option, maybe it's time to look at another option just for the short term. I don't know whether Badiashile, you guys still believe in Badiashile, Jonathan, in the comments, but that's the thing with Chelsea is that they still got to find their best 11. They've got to take time to gel because they've changed the manager again. I think it was actually right to change manager, but with this manager, you've got to take time.
See, I'm on the other side of that debate in terms of you thinking that they were right to switch manager. I think, and I've said this before, it felt like just before the end of the season, things were starting to come good for Chelsea under Poch, and then now it feels like it's almost as if it's back to square one.
I think
new manager in, that sort of thing.
I still think I watched them quite a bit at the back of the last season though. Like a lot of their games when they were playing, like it still felt like they needed like an individual moment from a quality player. It still felt like they needed like a Reece James to come in and do something like the Nottingham Forest game. Remember they played against Nottingham Forest away, and they actually struggled for a bit, struggled for a lot actually. But they needed a moment. They just need it's like Man United almost. It felt like watching Man United under Ten Hag for me under Pochettino throughout the whole season. Where cool, it was only one season and stuff, but you have a midfield of Caicedo and Fernandes, but you ruin it by putting Gallagher in front all the fucking time. It's like watching West Ham with Souček. You got Alvarez and Ward-Prowse, just put Souček in front. It was exactly what Moyes was doing. It was like watching a Chelsea blue. It was like watching a blue West Ham last season because Pochettino and Moyes were doing the exact same things. Like for me, throughout the back end of last season, he could have got more out of that squad, especially with some of the players that he had. And it felt like they needed to switch it up a lot more. And he was playing a lot of players out of position, and it felt like he didn't know how to use an attack. Like he was playing people in false nine that never played false nine. He was playing people on the left wing that never played left wing. Like if we still had Poch, we would have lost 4-3 yesterday instead of 2-0. That's the thing because that happened last season where it was 4-4. They were scoring because City were fucking up in defence, but they were conceding because they were fucking up in defence, and that's all because of a structure. Pochettino just makes them run all the time, and they got so many injuries since Maresca's come in. Only James has got injured, and he always gets injured.
Yeah.
So everyone else is fine. So a lot of people were saying, it's not his training methods, but clearly it was. Because Maresca's come in, whole new different training methods. Lavia's fit now. Lavia wasn't fit all throughout last season. I remember actually, Romeo Lavia was meant to come 6 months earlier, I'm pretty sure, than he actually did. It came up against Crystal Palace, I think it was. He came on as a sub. Just coming back from injury. Pochettino puts him on. After that game, you hear that Lavia's out for the rest of the season or some shit. Well, he's out for like a couple more months. That's because he rushed him back. It happened with Roy Hodgson as well. At least they came back from a big injury. Roy Hodgson puts him on against Brighton. Last 10 minutes, had to come off again. These managers don't know how to that are so out of date with their life.
Yeah,
they just put players on, no matter what. Do you remember against Tottenham a few years ago for you? I think it Partey in the lockdown season. He was injured and Arteta fucking physically pushed him on.
Yeah.
Physically pushed him on. That's the worst thing you could do as a manager, is push a player on that's already injured to then play longer. But then it would just get injured for longer.
And then you just see him hobbling back, and then Kane and Son go on the counter attack, and we concede another goal.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. You got to be patient with it as well, because Paquetá, it happened with Paquetá last season where Moyes brought him back against Bristol City in the cup. He just come back from injury. I think he got injured in the game when we beat you at the Emirates because he got injured in a warm up, and then we played him, and then he contributed to the goal. Then 10 minutes later, he got injured in the game, and they had to take him off. He then came back in January against Bristol City, but that was too early. He got an assist straight away, and then he had to come off because he got injured again. And then we missed him for like another month, and we couldn't function without Paquetá. We literally didn't win a game without him. We didn't win a game without him last season, which is that's how key he was. And that's how key he still is. Like managers that do this, it doesn't make sense to me. How can you be a manager and force your players to come back? And that's a lot of what Pochettino was doing last season. Like, I think with this more methodical style of play and whatever, like the slow passing and shit, you don't get injuries as much. It's same with
Yeah.
Arteta. Like, you don't get injuries at Arsenal that much because of the football you play. Like, when do your players really get injured, apart from the injury-prone players?
Not really.
Yeah, so like Rice doesn't pick up injuries anyway. Like Saka is just tired half the time, and he's getting kicked around. Don't get me wrong, but he's been playing 90 minutes of every game, so
Yeah.
he's tired. That's why he's limping. Jesus usually gets injured. Tomiyasu usually gets injured. Like
Tierney.
yeah, Tierney. It's managed. It's just mismanagement. But overall, like even though Chelsea lost yesterday, I didn't really have much of a leg to stand on to even be that shameless and put Chelsea down. Only because they didn't score, yeah, but they were playing a better team than we did. They performed better than we did, so I couldn't say anything because I could see more from them with their manager coming in straight away than more than what we did with our manager coming in straight away. So I was like, oh, I would have. If it was like a battering, I could have said something. But it was just long, man.
Can we talk about a certain Kukurea?
Oh yeah. Like as much as I like
I've
him as
been
a
waiting
player,
to bring this up.
as much as I like him as a player, yeah, that whole Haaland thing was cringy as fuck. No offense, yeah, he's a cringy bastard. He's a great player, but he's a cringy bastard, bro.
And he got what he deserved. Did you not see it yesterday when he picked up cramp, asked Haaland to help him, and Haaland's just there laughing at him?
I didn't see that. I actually didn't see that. I was watching the game, but I didn't see that part. But he's a cringy bastard, man. Like no, like as I said, I rate him as a player. Very cringe. I know you're celebrating that whole Euros win and stuff, but Haaland is trembling and all this, bro. You're on that's too many Estrellas, bro. You're on too many. Put the Estrella down and stick to just celebrating normally, man. You don't need to do all of that. At least when Rodri is, I don't know, he's saying some nonsense about another country or Gibraltar or some shit. It's about. It's not like he's got to like prove anything on a pitch.
Furthermore, what does Rodri think when he sat there seeing his Spain teammate talk about his City teammate, saying, "Oh, he's trembling"?
I don't know. I think he's just not going to say anything, just so the cameras don't get anything. Stuff like that. I don't know what you'd be thinking if one of your international teammates was cussing your other teammates. I mean, to be fair, they did have to switch wingers. They did have to switch wingers just because of Beetlejuice being Doku in this situation. They called Doku Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
What's 5 plus 5? 15.
Spell red.
VAR. That's just that I remember I first saw that comparison yesterday. I was like, yeah, that's perfect. I don't know how I've never noticed that before. Doku does look like Beetlejuice. He does look like Beetlejuice a lot. It's so uncanny, it's unbelievable. But Savio, obviously, he looked great yesterday as well. I really like the look of Savio. He did really well for his first game in the Prem.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was one of the best wingers in La Liga last season, but I didn't watch much of him. I only watched the game, and that was it. But when he came in, he was really doing well 1v1, just gliding past players. And City looked like a lot of fun to watch this season, just because they're now playing wingers that are fast and they're taking players on with the striker they have up front already. And Bernardo Silva was playing in the middle. If they keep that to how that is, they're going to be fun to watch this season. And rather than just playing. No, I like Grealish, but I prefer him in the middle. Like when he's on the touchline, just dribbling and then passing it backwards, it's just not. It's not fun to watch. It's not fun to watch. The same with Bernardo Silva on the right. He's good at recycling the ball, good player, but he's better in the middle. Get these creators in the middle, and then you see that Haaland finish. By the way, the 2 goals were brilliant from them. The Haaland finish and the Kovacic goal. Wow, bro, it was brilliant. Like the way Haaland got that touch and then he chipped it in. He had to improvise quick, and then just straight in. Like he's going to be on form again this season. You can tell he's going to win Golden Boot for sure. And obviously that Kovacic goal at your own former stadium. Fucking hell, What's a finish? Like, obviously, the defense could have done better. Midfield could have done better. But he struck that like it was like it was nothing. And Sanchez got
Sanchez
hand
tried.
to it.
Sanchez tried keeping it out, but there was no way he was going to keep it out. No way.
No. And yes, he is a bozo. He is a bozo. That guy was passing it to City players all the time. Every time
If
this
he's
guy
a
got the
bozo,
ball,
why'd you sign him?
that's the thing. I didn't get the signing in the first place because I watched the guy all the time. Because I used to like watching Brighton a lot under like De Zerbi and Potter. And
Mm.
the guy wasn't as good. The guy's not that good. Like his distribution was made to look better than it actually was because no one was putting pressure on him. Once you put pressure on a guy, the ball is going off the pitch half the time. The ball is going out of play. Makes it look like he's some intelligent Spanish keeper. No. Useless,
Petrovic
man.
is better.
Yeah, Petrovic is definitely better. Like, the only reason why he's not playing is because he can't play up from the back and stuff, but neither can Sanchez. So let's see if this Jorgensen guy that they signed will play. I'm assuming he will. He needs to play after the fucking way Sanchez played. But is there any other key games that I missed out? Oh, apparently Sean Dyche was angry at the Everton fans after they lost to Brighton, apparently voicing their reaction and stuff. Are Everton going to struggle this season, do you think?
Everton always struggle.
Yeah, true.
It's kind of one of the common things that we expect going into a new season. Everton to struggle. It's one of the main things that always comes up, and it's happened for the past 3-4 seasons now, and it just feels like how many more times they're going to get away with it before they go down.
Mm. The quote that he said was responding to the empty seats was, no. This is the reality at this football club. If you're not doing well, then you're not winning. Like, well, fair enough. Like, I guess it wasn't that angry, but I can't lie. I know, like, they should do the whole, like, people always say you shouldn't leave early and all that. And I've only left early once at a game, but that was because there's a long story behind that. I stayed for that whole fucking Arsenal 6-0 match. I've suffered enough as it is. I stayed throughout whole of West Ham Newcastle 5-1. I stayed throughout multiple Man City batterings. But I can understand after seeing all the shit they've seen and for the standard they want their club to be at, they're losing 3-0 like that. Ashley Young getting red cards still against Matoma, pulling the players down like that. It's just like you're meant to show your experience in those moments. You're like 38.
Yeah.
And you're still doing 17-year-old stupidness. Like, if you threw a youngster in and he was doing that bozo moment by just pulling them down, like, when a player's thrown a goal and it's a goal scoring opportunity, I get it.
Yeah, you give him the
But you're
benefit of the
38.
doubt, but
He's been through all.
you're an aging fullback now.
Yeah.
You've had experience in the Premier League. You know you shouldn't do that. So
Mm.
don't.
Yeah, old enough to be my granddad. Yeah, he is. He's nearly double my age. Like, he's at 38, man. But those were the key games that all happened on the weekend. So, last thing is Leicester Tottenham. What's your prediction for that? Because that's going live that's starting in 12 minutes. So we'll end the stream soon.
I think Tottenham win.
Yeah.
By how much, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely saying there is a Spurs win on the cards.
Yeah, fair enough. I think Tottenham battle Leicester only because Leicester are shit. I haven't watched them in pre-season, no, but I can't imagine that team under Steve Cooper is going to do anything. In my opinion, I think they're going to get a points deduction. Apparently, we'll see if that actually happens. But even regardless of the points deduction, they look like the least prepared team throughout the whole season. So I can see them losing, and I'll go like 3-0 or some shit. I forgot what I originally predicted, but I'm gonna say 3-0 Tottenham. Jonathan says 5-3 Tottenham. If that is 5-3, it's gonna be a good fucking game then. But Leicester Tottenham's always a weird game. They don't actually like each other, funny enough. But that's from.
I wonder why.
It's from the whole that season, that iconic season. But like, listen, Leicester, you were a good club for what you did all those years ago, but you're fucked this season. you're fucked this season, man. Like, you should have sacked Brendan Rodgers a long time ago. Steve Cooper is cursed. The last 2 clubs he went to got a points deduction. Yeah, man. He better not step anywhere near West Ham, boy. Don't even step anywhere near East London. Don't even want to see you in Leytonstone, let alone Stratford. But I'm going to end it there, guys. I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys for watching. It's been great. And this show will be weekly. I don't actually know when I'm going to be back Monday, so maybe we'll do it on a Tuesday. I don't know when that's going to be and stuff. So we'll figure that out. But make sure guys to subscribe to Alfie. Alfie's link is in the title. He's going to be consistent doing match reactions and match previews and all Arsenal content, etc. And yeah, you get his perspective from an Arsenal perspective as well. Alfie, what have you got coming up?
Well, this week, for definite, we've got the match preview and the review for Arsenal Aston Villa on Saturday. Anything else in between, I'll try my best to make sure that I'm keeping you guys in the know, so you know everything about what's going on at Arsenal. But for now, the review and the preview for Villa is the main thing.
Okay. Are you going on Lewis's channel? I don't know if he's doing a watch along for Leicester Tottenham. Then yeah, maybe I might be on that. I don't know, but I don't know whether he's going to run the Shameless show this week as well. So we'll see that. We'll see about that as well. That'll be interesting if that happens this week. But I don't know. But you might see me on there. You might not. I'm not too sure. But guys, social media is over in the description. If you want to follow me, make sure to leave a like as well and subscribe if you're new. Okay, if he's doing a watch along, I might jump on. If he sends me the link. But social media is over in the description if you want to follow me. When it runs 1,000 subscribers, trying to hit that whenever. We just hit 500, so it's been great. But we're trying to hit 1,000. 1,000 is the next target, of course. And yeah, we'll see you guys later in a bit. Peace.